So I started my first business in 2008. I started my second business in 2013, and I started my last business in 2015. One thing that is never taught, one thing that you never hear about when you're starting a business is liability, right? Who accepts liability for the company, who bears liability for successes or failures of the company, and it's always the owner. And I'm not talking about management, right? I'm talking about the owner of the company. And you have different levels of management. You have the executive management, which will be like your CEOs, your CFOs, your COOs, and or your board of directors. Those are the people who bear the responsibility, the liability for the company, not middle management. And if you think that because you're a regional director or a district director or a store manager or something like that, that you are in an executive position, and you're not. You're an employee, a high level employee. But even those people bear no responsibility or liability for that company, because when decisions are made, they don't go to employees. And I know a lot of people talk about the fact that employees should have a say-so in the direction of the company, but if that were the case, then those employees will start their own company so they can bear the liabilities of the failures. Because when something happens, there's never an employee's name that's in a headline of the company. It's never Joe Schmo was an employee and responsible for the failure. It's always the CEO or some executive management or the owner of the company whenever the company is successful or whenever the company fails. And I say that to bring it into this point right here. The thing that makes me resent a lot of liberals is that liberals never bear liability for the failures of the party that they support. And I got a lot of friends that are liberals, and the only thing that they do when you bring up a failure is they say, well, the Republicans did this, or the conservatives did this, or Donald Trump did this, or this president did that, and they try to make this comparative analysis. And so a lot of times the point that you're trying to make is mute, is void, because you're only glorifying what you would consider are the successes of your political body without bearing responsibility of the failures. And that's why I started to hate these guys so much. And I'm an agreeable person because I'm solution oriented. But I see these guys time and again, they want to point out, oh, the Republicans didn't do this, Republicans didn't do that, the Republicans didn't do that. But what about the failures of your own party? When are you going to bear responsibility and point out the failures in your own party? I mean, your president's son is a freaking crackhead, and he's been a crackhead for a long time. Your president is a shady politician, and he's been like that for a very long time. But instead of pointing those out, you want to do the comparative analysis and try to point out every single issue that my party has. Now, because I'm an agreeable person, I'm solution oriented, I point out the failures of my party. Why? Because I have the solutions to fix those. Personal opinion solutions or solutions that I can put into play. But the fact of the matter is, you guys are not bearing the responsibility or the liability for the failures of your party, which means you shouldn't even be talking or making any type of comparative analysis about anything. Focus on your party, focus on the failures of your party, and focus on how to get in a position to be able to address the failures of your own party so you guys can be a better party instead of trying to point out what somebody else is doing because of the failures of your own shit. My opinions. Peace.